everyone and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Blooming in the Dark. Today I'm going to tell you more about the books I want to read this summer, and hopefully I will read them because I have a problem with the TBR. I never really stick to the TBR. So maybe you'll find some inspiration in some of the books I'm going to read this summer, or maybe you've read some of the books already, and if you did, I would love for you to tell me more about the books in the comment section. Okay, so the first book is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. So I'm going to read you from the synopsis. Okay, so Beth's life hasn't worked out the way she planned. After her father walked out on their family with a note simply saying, "I'm sorry," she became obsessed with finding him, and an obsession that destroyed her relationship with her husband and her daughter. She just has her dying mother left. Beth taking care of her as best as she can until she breathes her final shocking words. "Your father didn't disappear. Don't trust." And she didn't give any name. Still processing these words, Beth receives a surprise call to say her sister has been attacked and rushed to the hospital. Soon after, she finds both a strange sister and brother returning to the family home. She makes sure to lock her bedroom door at night. Her sister can't be trusted. Desperate to revisit happier memories, the siblings find themselves watching some videos of their childhood. It feels like a good idea until the footage shows them, their father covered in blood, their mother's voice panicked, and a dead girl's body. They'd love to believe it's fake, but they know the girl in the video. So this sounds really interesting, and I already started the book. I'm like around 60 pages in. Not much happened already, but I'm going to wait. And if I don't like this book is like 300 pages long, I can suffer through it if I don't really like it. Another book would be The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. I don't know about you, but for me this book screams summer, and I really wanted to read it last summer, but I didn't get a chance, and now I really want to read it. So if you guys have read it, I'm really curious about your opinion, because I'm not sure if it is going to be my kind of book, but I'm curious about it and I would love to read it. From what I know, it's not a romance book, even though it is presented like this. So let's see about that. Okay, one life-changing decision: your husband or your one true love. On a perfect August morning, Elle Bishop heads out for a swim in the pond below the Paper Palace, her family's holiday home in Cape Cod. As she dives beneath the water, she relieves the passionate encounter she had the night before against the side of the house that knows all her darkest secrets, while her husband and mother chatted to their guests inside. So begins a story that unfolds over 24 hours and 50 years as Elle's shocking betrayal leads her to a life-changing decision. So I think this is all. Yes, this is everything that's written as a synopsis. I don't know about this book. It feels very summery, so I think I will try to read it this summer, because I as I said, I wanted to read it back in the summer of 2025, but I didn't get the chance. So I hope I will be able to read it this summer. Another book I want to read is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. And the thing is that I've read by him every summer after, which I loved. I liked it very much. It was very enjoyable and even a bit emotional. Okay, so let's see what this is all about. Okay, so one day, one promise, two lives changed. Fern Brookbanks has wasted far too much of her adult life thinking about Will Baxter. She spent 24 hours in her early 20s with the aggravatingly attractive, idealistic, a chance encounter that spiraled into a day-long city adventure. The timing was wrong, but their connection was undeniable. They shared every secret, every dream, and made a pact to meet 1 year later. Fern showed up, Will didn't. At 32, Fern's life hasn't turned out the way she imagined it. She's back home, running her mother's lakeside resort, which is in disarray, and her ex-boyfriend is the manager. She needs a lifeline. To Fern's surprise, it comes in the form of Will, who arrives 10 years too late with an offer to help. Will may be the only person who understands what Fern's going through, yet how can she possibly trust this expensive suit-wearing mirage who seems nothing like the young man she met all these years ago? But 10 years ago, Will Baxter rescued Fern. Can she do the same for him? I'm curious and I think it's going to be emotional. Another book I want to read, which wasn't on my TBR until I saw an aesthetic of the book and I realized that the action takes place, at least most of it I hope, on the sea. And I love the sea. I love sea books. The Bridge Kingdom. I have no idea what to think about this book because I've seen so many mixed reviews. Many people enjoy that, but some people didn't. I saw 1 star reviews and 5 star reviews, and I'm confused and I need to read it to make my own opinion, okay? Okay, so this, let's see. Raised as a warrior, Princess Lara has always known her destiny to destroy her enemy, King Aaron. The Bridge Kingdom, where he resides, uses its power to deprive Lara's homeland of vital resources. So when she is sent to be King Aaron's bride, she has her way in. And now all Lara needs is to destroy the kingdom and her new husband from the inside. But when hostility turns to passion, her loyalty will be tested to its limits. Now, I don't know where the sea is in this, but I've seen an aesthetic about a ship and a sea. So if it has that, I'm very happy about it. And if you read it, please let me know if it's worth it, because I've seen, as I said, mixed reviews and I need to know your opinion because it will motivate me to read it faster if you liked it. But if you didn't like it and you write the comment down below, it will make me read other books that might be better than this one. So I'm curious about your opinion. Another book would be The Devil and the Dark Water, and I think this is by the author who wrote The Seven Deaths of Emily something, Evelyn Castle, or something like that. Anyway, so of course I needed to read this book. I hope I will, because I've been meaning to read it for a few years now. So it has a ship, it has sea, it's summary, it has mystery also. So let's read the synopsis, okay? So Samuel Pepys, the world's greatest detective, is being transported from Dutch East Indies to Amsterdam, where he is facing trial and execution for a crime he may or may not have committed. Traveling with him is his loyal bodyguard, Arend Hayes, who is determined to prove his friend innocent, while also on board are Sarah Wessel, a noble woman with a secret, and her husband, the Governor General of Batavia. Okay, but no sooner is their ship out to sea than devilry begins to blight the voyage. A strange symbol appears on the sail. A dead leopard stalks the decks. Livestock are slaughtered in the night, and then the passengers hear a terrible voice whispering to them in the darkness, promising them 3 unholy miracles. First, an impossible pursuit. Second, an impossible theft. Third, an impossible murder. Could a demon be responsible for their misfortunes? With Pepys imprisoned, only Arendt and Sarah can solve a mystery that stretches back into their past and now threatens to sink the ship, killing everybody on board. I don't know about this book. I've seen reviews that were good, but they mentioned that the book is slow. So if the book is slow, I don't know. Okay, so now we are going on a darker side. I'm going to read, and I hope I will finish this book. It's, from what I know, an extreme horror book, or maybe it's splatterpunk. I'm not sure of the difference because they say that splatterpunk is some kind of extreme horror book, but technically with a message behind it, and extreme horror is just extreme for the sake of being extreme. So I always thought it was the other way around. So I don't know if this is splatterpunk or extreme horror, and you can correct me down in the comments if you have read this book or if you know the difference, okay? Okay, by the way, the book is called, I forgot to tell you, The Summer I Died, and I've actually started this book and I love the way it is written. It's written so beautifully, and I will just read you the synopsis, okay? Okay, when Roger Huntington comes home from college for the summer and is met by his best friend, Tooth, he knows they're going to have a good time. A summer full of beer, comic books, movies, laughs, and maybe even girls. So much pain. The sun is high and the sky is as clear as Roger, and the sun is clear, sorry, as Roger and Tooth set out to shoot beer cans at Bobcat Mountain. Just 2 friends catching up on lost time, 2 friends thinking about their futures, 2 friends, so much blood. Suddenly thrust in the middle of a nightmare, forced to fight for their life against a sadistic killer. A killer with an arsenal of razor-sharp blades and a hungry dog by his side. So much death. If they are to survive, they must decide, are heroes born or are they made? Or is it something more powerful happening to them? And then more importantly, how do you survive when all roads lead to death? What I knew about this book when I first started it, it was that these two friends, yes, go shooting beer cans, and they hear someone screaming, a woman, and when they try to save her, they get locked up by this sadistic killer. So I didn't get to that part yet, and I don't want to spoil anything. So, but anyway, nothing really happened until now. But it's so beautifully written, and I'm curious if it is going to be heart wrenching. Honestly, I'm kind of scared to read this book because I've seen many people being shocked by what is going on here. But it seems to be a book with a message. I love that part about, are heroes born or made? And I think in this case they are made. I don't know. Let's see what I. Yeah, if you read this book, I'm curious about your opinion because this is a very, very dark book. Okay. Okay, another book I'm really excited about, it's Her Last Breath. It's by the author who wrote No Exit, so Taylor Adams. I don't know if I should read this one first or this one first, but I think I'm going to go with this one because it feels more summery. I don't know. When Tess reluctantly joins her adventurous best friend Allie on a caving expedition, already I'm hooked. Caving expedition. I would never do that, but I love to see people doing that. Like, yes, I live for the danger, but I'm not going to live for the danger. I'm just going to see you how you live for the danger, you know. Okay, so she expects to confront her claustrophobia, not a stranger who traps her in a fight for her life. A man who claims to be a fellow caver harasses them at the cave's entrance. Confident, take no shit Allie insults the guy and he retaliates. I've known people who are like that. They like to mess with other people because they are bored, and then they get back what they asked for. Soon Tess is trapped inside a narrow crawl space, hundreds of feet underground, fighting to stay alive. Hours later, Tess emerges alive, but the nightmare is far from over. As actually, no, I'm not going to read anything else. This is all you need to know. This is all I need to know. This book sounds so claustrophobic and so suspenseful. I cannot wait to read this one. Okay, then another book I want to read this summer is Don't Ask Why by Steph Nelson. Okay, so the synopsis goes like this. Still reeling from her husband's death, Courtney joins her three best friends on a secluded island in the Florida Keys. But the gateway meant to bring peace quickly spirals into chaos. First comes a rumor about a woman who was recently killed on the island. Then the property manager is nowhere to be found. When a stranger shows up, so yes, we have a rumor about a woman being killed, the manager disappears. A stranger comes into the island, and then we have another thing. Don't worry. There's also no Wi-Fi, no cell service, no way of the island for 5 days. I love an isolated thriller. I could never get enough of isolated thrillers. Another book I would love to read is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. The thing is, I tried to read a book by Riley Sager. I forgot the name. It was about a girl who... oh man. I'm going to put the name of the book here somewhere because I don't remember the book because I didn't even finish it. Because it was so boring and so annoying, but I've heard that this is one of his best books. So let's see. Two Truths and a Lie. The girls played it all the time in their cabin at Camp Nightingale. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and first-time camper Emma Davis, the youngest of the group. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door behind her, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings, massive canvases filled with dark leaves and gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of Francesca Harris White, the wealthy owner of the Camp Nightingale, she implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as a painting instructor. Seeing an opportunity to find out what really happened to her friends all those years ago, Emma agrees. Familiar faces, unchanged cabins, and the same dark lake haunt Nightingale, whatever it's called, even though the camp is opening its doors for the first time since the disappearances. Emma is even assigned to the same cabin she slept in as a teenager, but soon discovers a security camera, the only one on the property, pointed directly at its doors. The cryptic clues that Vivian left behind about the camp's twisted origins begin surfacing. As she digs deeper, Emma finds herself sorting through lies from the past while facing mysterious threats in the present. And the closer she gets to the truth about the Camp Nightingale, whatever it's called, and what really happened to those girls, the more she realizes that closure could come at a deadly price. Now, I don't know, I'm really scared of this author just because of that book I've tried to read and I didn't really get to finish. But this really seems like a summer book, so I think I will give it a try. Okay, another book is by Geneva Rose. I see I have two Geneva Rose books. I just like the synopsis of her books. Now, I've never read an actual book by her, but I'm curious. Okay, so this one is called You Shouldn't Have Come Here. All I wanted was a vacation, a chance to relax, to scratch and itch. I never expected Calvin Wells or the way I'd began to feel about him. I mean, who falls for their Airbnb host? But despite the peaceful surroundings, the unexpected company, and the chemistry between us, there's a feeling I just can't shake. A warning in the pit of my stomach, and a locked door to the basement that I can't stop thinking about. So when the police arrive, looking for a missing woman, a woman who supposedly never checked in to her stay here at the ranch, I know it's time to trust my instincts and uncover the truth. There are secrets in Calvin's house and his heart, and if he won't tell me, I'll have to go get them myself. So yeah, it seems interesting. I'm curious about it. I'm curious about that basement. And from what I know, Geneva Rose writes books in crack format. Crack format book is basically a book that you can read in a few hours or a day, maximum 24 hours. And I love those kind of books. Another book would be The Unseen by Anya Alborn. So, Isla Hansen, mother reeling from a devastating loss, is beside herself when a mysteriously orphaned child appears on the outskirts of the Hansens' secluded Colorado property. Although strange and unexplainable, the child's appearance breathes new life into Isla. But as the child settles in, Isla's husband, Luke, and their 5 children notice peculiarities that hint at something far beyond the ordinary, anomalies that challenge the very fabric of reality itself. The tension within the Hansen household grows, and with it, the sense that there is something very wrong with the new kid in the house. Okay, so this one I'm not sure if I'm going to actually read it this summer. Definitely towards the end of the summer, when you feel the need of a chilly story, okay? Or of a chilling story. Now, another book I'm curious about is by the author who wrote That's Not My Name, which I loved very, very much. It's called What We Did to Survive. Um, and it's about some friends. I'm going to read you from the synopsis again. Hannah is having an incredible spring break. A week at a resort in Mexico with her best friend Emmy and her family is perfect for the distressing from the senior year, even if it's awkward being around Emily's older brother Jackson, who she's had a crush on for as long as she can remember. Still, the beach is gorgeous, so is the guy they meet in the surf. Except Hannah is now the third wheel in Emmy's vacation romance. Eager to impress Emmy, her wealthy new boyfriend charters a private sailboat to make the most of their last day in paradise, and Hannah and Jackson are invited along. As the clouds roll in and the skies darken, their boat is the only one leaving the marina. And the further they get into the open water, the more unsettled Hannah becomes. A storm is brewing. So, okay, I love water, as I said, but I'm also equally scared of water, especially deep water. And going to sail and a storm coming in, not the best thing. And I'm really curious about this. It's the perfect summer book, probably. Now, to be honest with you, I don't usually stick to my TBR, but I am going to try at least, I don't know, maybe to read like 90% of the books I presented you, because I'm a mood reader. Okay, so apparently my phone just died. I mean, it stopped abruptly because the iPhone storage is full, and I spent some time deleting all videos and apps. And what I was saying is that I don't really stick to a TBR. I'm a mood reader, so I just hope I will stick to this one this time. Okay, so that's kind of all. I hope you have a very nice day. And yes, if you have read any of the books, or you want to read any of the books, please let me know. So maybe we can read them together, or maybe you can bring your opinion on the books. Okay, have a nice day. Bye bye.